Wilderness. This is the heart of Aotearoa. In the city of Dunedin, wilderness crosses modern development like a network of veins. Those who live here are always close to nature.
The natural world fascinates me. Why and how is everything connected?
It's the perfect place to take part in the country's greatest citizen science project.
My name is Kererū and I've been on the Great Kererū Count.
The Great Kererū Count is a nationwide effort that will unfold over 10 days. Its aim is to survey one of the strangest of birds. It's big, it's beautiful, and its wings beat to the heart of Aotearoa.
They look like a standard cliff pigeon that we see everywhere, except they are about twice the size and they're much nicer plumage. They're very distinctive to see. They eat berries that ferment in their guts, so they get quite tipsy and drunk, and when they fly they sound like a small helicopter, and any tree they land on does not seem happy by it. Just a very special bird by how it looks and its behavior.
Like so many of New Zealand's native species, these wonderful birds are vulnerable. 100 years ago, they even faced extinction. Now, thousands of people will join Yuval in observing and taking care of them. People of all backgrounds and all ages.
We want to know if they are endangered or are they very common. I'm interested in birds because they do different things to us. For instance, flying and eating different things. I think I've seen a few under 10, usually flying around, but sometimes they just land in trees.
All of this is vital information for the count.
As observations are needed, I'm gonna take as many videos and photos as I can when I spot them. Anyway, let's go.
Counters are collecting data on where Kererū live, how many there are, and how they are doing. Yuval is personally interested in what they are eating and their behavior.
All of them I've seen were either eating or flying. I've not seen any come down to drink, and I've not seen any just walking on the ground, which is quite interesting for a bird because normally you see them doing that. Other than that, they just mind their own business. Very relaxed bird.
Participants send all their information through the Great Kererū Count website. It will be analysed as part of an ongoing study at the University of Victoria, Wellington.
Well, I first got into New Zealand wildlife just through tramping. New Zealand's wildlife is so different to the wildlife anywhere else on the planet, and it's also in trouble. Ever since the moa went extinct, there's no other native forest bird that can beat the Kererū when it comes to eating large fruit. There's more than 70 species of trees we know that Kererū eat, so they're really important seed dispersers, those trees with large fruits such as miro, karaka, niko, and that's really important in the regeneration of forests.
Unfortunately, in both the forests and the cities, Kererū are faced with danger.
They don't seem to have much fear about human beings. It can be quite alarming to be out in the garden here and all of a sudden there's a great rush of air and the beating of wings, and a kererū is shot over the top of you by only a metre or so.
100 years ago, their lack of fear was almost their downfall.
We believe that they were very much favoured by the Maori for their meat. There were two methods mainly used by Maori to hunt them. One was a long, light spear. Another way was the use of snares. They were also regarded as very valuable food supply by the Europeans, who no doubt use their more sophisticated rifles.
That changed when New Zealanders realised how vital Kererū were in the ecosystem.
People became more familiar with the idea that they needed to be conserved, and so in 1921 they became protected.
However, their troubles have continued to this day. After all, it wasn't just humans who liked the taste of Kererū meat.
In New Zealand, conservation generally means killing. It means a lot of pest control of introduced species, because that's what has the biggest impact on our native species. Whenever we clear the forests of introduced pests, such as cats and rats and stoats and possums, we see Kererū come bouncing back.
Pest control is an uphill battle that needs massive attention and resources. The count is one way to test how effective it really is. For Yuval, there's a more immediate problem.
Where's all the Kererū gone? Middle of the week and I have not seen any. So at the start of the count, I spotted around 20 birds, but as we got further during the week and through the count, I saw less and less until the last few days I've seen none really.
Numbers are indeed down compared to last year's count. But why?
There could be an easy explanation for that. Because of the milder winter season and more growth and food being available, the Kererū haven't been obliged to come out to the coast looking for food. We haven't noticed any around the house here at all for some months. So they just could be staying at home. Simple.
It's in the deep bush that Kererū have decided to stay this spring. After all, wilderness has always been their home.
It was absolutely fun to do this citizen science experiment that is going through the whole country. It's a really good initiative for people to go out and learn a bit about the nature that's around them.
By studying native species, we start to understand what they do and how they need to be protected, and making sure that we connect people with nature in their hearts as well as in their heads.
I think it's a sign of a mature society that it looks after its animal and plant life, because it's those things that tend to give a country a particular identity.
They are native birds and they are very precious in New Zealand. It's important that we get to experience these different types of birds and animals.